Hey, San Antonio, this is Rob for the MetalWorks, and tonight I am at the White Rabbit to welcome Canadian metal mastermind. Yes, I have with me Mr. Devin Townsend of Strapping Young Lad. How you doing, Devin?
I'm good, thanks.
It's a big pleasure to have you on the program, man. No doubt you are a very well-respected musician, not only amongst the fans, but amongst your own peers, and it's a great honor to have you here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I want to get started from the beginning. There were some people out there, fans, who speculated that you would never do another Strapping Young Lad record. There were some people out there who were thinking, well, it's been since '98, since the live record. Tell us a little bit about how you got back into the fold with Strapping Young Lad now in 2003.
I think to a certain extent I just felt limitations on what I was able to do as a musician or as an artist or whatever. And I think I felt like I needed to get both those records out of my system, the new Strapping and the new Devin Townsend band, just to sort of epitomize what each side of those sides of what I do had to offer. You know, like make a really good Strapping record and just sort of that'll shut them up, and then make a really good Devin Townsend band record and that'll shut them up, and then you know, then I can go off and do whatever the heck I want, right? And it's like I love both of them. I really do. You know, it was a real good experience for me to do them, but you know, I think I had to do it just to sort of purge it, for one thing, just to prove I could, and for two, just to, you know, move on. You know what I mean? So now that they're done, I can do basically whatever I want. But and I think a lot of the reason why there is another one as well is, I mean, with the first couple Strapping records, like up to City, it was all me. You know, even though Gene played on City, it was like I programmed all the drum beats and sort of showed him what to do, right? So when we decided to do the new Strapping one, it was like, okay, well, everybody's going to write their own parts. You know what I mean? It's like I'll still sort of like instigate the music, but we'll collectively put it together. And you know, it's cool. We became sort of something a little different than what we were, but I still think it's cool. You know, we're a really good heavy metal band.
And that kind of segues into my next question. The fourth release is a self-titled.
Yeah.
Why is that? And are you kind of, I guess, symbolizing that this is a new era for Strapping Young Lad?
Yeah, I mean, Strapping, I mean, it's like, it's not going to last forever, right? So it's like I wanted to, with this one, really say, okay, well, this is who we are. This is what we became after the legwork that was put in from what we did in the past. Like, this is what Strapping represents now. Gene, Jed, Byron, Dev, right?
And this release no doubt rocks in San Antonio. For some of you who don't yet have it, this is the fourth release from Strapping Young Lad. It's out on Century Media Records. No doubt it rocks. And I love this record, Devin. I think it sounds, out of all the Strappings, the best on the stereo, sound-wise, production-wise. Also, I think it's some of your heaviest work, and also some of your most diverse work. There's a lot of dynamics, especially attributing from the different things that you're doing with your vocals. What, in your opinion, separates this release from maybe the first two, musically?
Oh, gosh. First couple ones were just, I didn't really know much about metal in terms of like the really extreme metal at that point. I was just kind of like winging it, you know? And now I know a lot about it, you know what I mean? So it's like, and with Jed and Gene and Byron, you know, I mean, they've just got so much metal in their blood that, I mean, we just put together something on this new one that I think the riffs are more solid, and, you know, I mean, it's a lot more traditional, I think.
Gene, no doubt, is getting a workout every night, because he's doing a lot of double beats, a lot of different things with his double beat. Sounds great, man.
Yeah. People get a workout watching Gene.
It's great to have you in San Antonio. What are the touring plans now for the rest of the year?
We're going to take a couple of months off. I'm going to do some work with my other band, and then we come back to America later on in the year. I think my band comes back in August, and then Strapping comes back in like October or something, and we got to do some European stuff in Japan and Australia, and just a lot of stuff. And
I don't want to assume, I know people out there is like, what other band is he talking about? The Devin Townsend band, yes. And we're going to talk about your latest release later on in the interview. But what about video work? Videos are important for programs like mine regionally and what we do. Do you still think videos are important? And if you had an opportunity, would you maybe do some video work or maybe a DVD?
We're doing a DVD for both the Devin Townsend band and Strapping Young Lad later this year. We just did a video for strapping song "Relentless," and
that's a new video.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of seeing my face. You know what I mean? Like in interviews, or videos, or live footage, or any of that stuff. I'm just like, oh god. Yeah. And so it's like, you know, and lip syncing and acting out the words and everything, it just makes me feel like a real schmo. So when we're doing the videos, a lot of the times I'm just like, I feel stupid now, make an angry face. So this last video for strapping, Gene brought a bottle of vodka and I just got wasted and ended up throwing up in the bathroom for an hour and a half after the video shoot. But that's okay, it looks better than the other ones as a result, I guess.
And do you still feel that medium is important for the music? Do you like utilizing that medium? I mean, maybe if you didn't have to be in the video, maybe if you just did like a conceptual type of.
I mean, as long as it didn't have, as long as it had some really cool artists do it for me, that'd be great. I mean, I'm a musician, right? Like I think of music, right? But I don't think I don't think of graphic art, and I don't think of, you know, I have ideas and I have concepts, but I don't have any execution for that, right? And I mean, in terms of like, if I had somebody come up and say, well, I've listened to your record and I come from X and X studio and I've got this budget behind me or whatever, and I'd like to do something for you, I'd be like, yeah, rock it out. You know what I mean? Send me a copy when it's done, and then there's my video, right? I'd do that. But yeah, it always comes back to seeing yourself.
And no doubt, Devin, in the past couple of years, more so than ever, I think you've gotten a lot of acclaim for a lot of the production work you've done. Tell us a little bit about what's on your plate. Are you still, saw you doing some work as we came into the room here, staying busy doing producing and engineering for bands, other than maybe your works?
Yeah. I do a little bit, you know. I mean, I'm getting better at it, but it's still pretty new to me. You know, I just did a band called Lamb of God.
Palaces,
Palaces Burn, it's called, yeah. And I did the Soilwork record, and Zimmer's Hole, and Punch Drunk, and my stuff. Not a whole lot, really. You know, I mean, I did December. I'm getting a bunch of offers, but I'm just going to wait until I have a band that I can really devote my energies to, you know, and then I'll do it again. But, you know, it's a hard job, so I'll stick with doing some of my own stuff for the time being.
You like doing that kind of work, being like maybe more behind the scenes and letting people really see what kind of different things you can do in the studio?
Sometimes it's fun, you know. It's like I always like doing what I'm not doing. Yeah.
And let's go ahead and jump into your band, the Devin Townsend band. Your latest release, Accelerated Evolution. Can you give us some feedback about that release, because people are realizing that it's much more than just a metal record?
Yeah. It's you know, it's like with strapping, there's a sense of no hope, I guess, or fighting to have a bit of hope, right? And with the Devin Townsend band, it's a record that's kind of the opposite of that spectrum. It's like not about the hell and the war and the rape and the destruction and all that. It's about, you know, relationships with your spouse and your family and your childhood and your dog, and, you know, what you'd like to do and what you don't like to do, and heartache, and I guess relationships. I guess it's relationships all around, right? So I guess as a result of that record's a lot more honest, and I think it's a little easier to relate to as maybe not as a heavy metal fan, but probably as a human. Yeah.
And finally, as we end on this interview, Devin, talk a little bit about your record label, Heavy Devi Records. I was at the website today. No doubt you're doing a lot of things. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on with the website. I mean, with your record label, and do you have any future bands to cultivate? I mean, any plans to cultivate bands through the label?
Maybe. There's always a potential for it. I mean, I have so many projects that I'm working on right now that it's like, I'm not desperate for money at this point, so it's like I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm kind of doing it now more so like, okay, well, I'm paying my rent, and I've got enough fingers in the fire that even if I just sell a little bit of each, then I can continue to pay my rent. So as a result of that, I'll just keep doing things and keep putting them out there, right? And you know, and have artistic freedom, which is, you know, the biggest thing for me, because, you know, working at a video game company making mid pieces for video games or whatever is, that's like punching a clock, you know what I mean? So it's like using your talent either to be a freak or to be a financier, right? Let's be a freaky financier.
Devin, any last words for the people in San Antonio, man? Maybe anything we missed or something we should have covered that we didn't? Or do you have any last words for the people out there?
Tacos make me shit. I love them, but I haven't eaten them in a long time. I've been a chicken guy for a long time. But I went to the tacos a while back there just to see what the big hubbub was about with the seasoned beef. And the chewy, cheesy gordita at Taco Bell. I fell out the wagon and got run over by it.
You're in Texas, man. You gotta try that stuff.
I know, and I also heard Chico's tacos.
Yeah, they're in El Paso.
Oh, yeah.
That's where my boy's from.
Oh, really? Yeah, I hear they're great there. I was supposed to have a double or a triple or something.
That is so awesome.
But they make a shit either way.
Yeah. But it's all good going down.
Stick with the chicken, man.
Devin, it's been a great pleasure having you, man. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Remember San Antonio, the man, Devin Townsend of Strapping Young Lad. You saw him right here on Rob's Metalworks.
Hella cool.